every single year we visited this circuit in GT World Challenge history. It's no stranger to anybody on the grid, and it always provides us with exceptional action. Lamborghini versus Audi, Porsche and Ferrari. We're about to go racing for 2026 here in GT World Challenge Asia. And the lights turn off and they all fan out nice and cleanly. And Akish Nandi on the front of the field with that slight advantage over the Audi, cuts across him and takes a clean lead into turn one ahead of Frankie Chen, who I think just snatched a break going into turn number one. Audi trying to make it 2 and 3 around the outside, but failing to do so. And that switchback is always a little bit tight in the middle of the pack. It looks as though we might have got all 23 cars through turn number 3. And now the Nissan challenging for 4th, heading up to turn number 4. Defensive work going on from Ron in the 911 and holds that position, but opens the door for the Nissan to look down the inside. I'm not sure if he's going to make that stick on Andres Pato. Pato holds on. Surely that's going to allow Andy doing up the inside into 15, especially considering there is so much open ground on the inside of that turn. You don't necessarily need to take the racing line. But that Ferrari, just even in the slipstream, can't quite get close enough. Has to do it on the brakes, has to do it in the talent parts of the corner. And he's going to really, really need to bide his time and be patient here, Andy Dunn.
Yes, here we can see in the toe, it just looks like that Ferrari is struggling to stay with him, but expect something into T1.
Goes to the right, then to the left. Pato sits in the middle of the road. How frustrating that is for Andy. Trying to go around the outside, hasn't quite got the overlap to sort of jam yourself down the inside at number 3. And now outside line, more momentum. Perhaps this straight not quite as long, so can stay a bit closer to the Audi into 4.
Perhaps 4 is also a difficult place to make.
Now for 5th position, possibly Andy Deng's best opportunity yet. It's going to be on the outside into turn number 1. The Audi has certainly better legs along the straight, but Andy's stronger on the brakes. Can he go around the outside and shut the door? Nice move by the young Chinese driver. That is the way to do it, and now he can scamper off up the road.
A very nice move by Andy there, and we have to applaud the defensive effort by Andres as well. I mean, he's held behind him a much faster driver for many laps now.
That's hurt Andy Dung though. That really has created how much of a gap. Another 4 seconds before he can get up to Aoki. So he's got clean air now. Let's see what he can do as we looked a little bit further down in the pack. Obviously leading the ANS is that pink and white Porsche, the number 22 of Han Cheng Liu. Second is Santosho, there he is. And actually that is Liu going up the inside of Pato. So moves back up a position then, up to 6th spot. Whoa, Pato taking a bit too much curb over 8, the car bouncing around. That's the worst feeling when suddenly you start breaking traction and you're not sure how it's going to land.
No, especially on that bounce out of T8 there, it's easy for the car to unsettle itself, as we see Andres here under heavy pressure from Anthony.
We know how attacking Anthony Liu can be over the years. A man, Sandy, you would have raced on track in the early part of GT World Challenge Asia. He's done almost every single season, has Anthony Liu. 6 wins to his name. Equal most successful with the car behind. Now, was that a move from Vutakorn? I'm not sure. I think this is more of a battle, isn't it?
Looks like that.
Into Puvasak and Nagai going at it for 10th spot. We ride on board with Nagai. He's on the outside. He's got good straight line speed in that Porsche. These are both the same, so you can't blame it on Bob.
Yeah.
Viti presumably up the inside still. There he is, but there's side-by-side up ahead. Runs off the circuit to allow the car to keep the traction. And there will be track limit warnings going on. Oh, Liu trying to go up around the outside of Pato. Pato sits in the middle of the road, defends. Here comes Liu Wei. That's going to be easy pickings, isn't it? Because poor old Anthony Liu is properly boxed in there. And again, from attack to defense. If you don't make the move, stick. Oh, Vutakorn's gone around. And it's been contact with Nagai, who's lost his front bumper in the background. literally the last time I saw in second position, but this is now class fighting, isn't it? He wasn't so worried about the silver and the am, but this is all in class. Now look at the backer shot here. On the left-hand side, we're just going to catch... Oh, Nagai's already lost it through one.
That's difficult to call from this angle here. We've got an onboard. We see the 81. Ooh.
He hadn't lost control of the car. That onboard unfortunately really shows that, I don't know, thought it was possible, but just wasn't alongside enough.
I guess just a miscommunication.
From Andrew Haryanto, Andres Pato just ahead. Big fan of ducks. If you remember, years and years ago, that car was liveried and covered with ducks. And then Andrew started calling himself various names of, or translations of the word duck. Trying to see what might be the issue there. It's difficult to see, but that car...
Judgment on either of those drivers there. I mean, they were both running their line, and yeah, unfortunately.
And James Yu Kwai to the right-hand side, and now we go full course yellow. Look how close Lu Wei and Anthony Liu have got to the tail of Andres Pato. Everyone now has to trundle along. You got a button, right, in the car you can press?
Yes, so you have a full course yellow button, and then that will limit the car speed to 80. The Origin team have a very powerful car.
Worth pointing out that Hancheng Liu was in partnership with Harmony Racing last year in a Ferrari, has participated in 18 races. As we go back to green flag racing, his best result, 11th in this race last year. So it is not as though he was in a Pro-Am car and had mega results, but he's in an Am car at the moment and in a much, much higher position. Of course, we're going to get the pros in. Of course, that's going to change things. But with that short, full course yellow, the gaps remain the same, and he is able to get away from Pato and, more significantly, perhaps, Anthony Liu and Wei Lu. And I pause because Anthony Liu has got ahead of Wei Lu on that restart. Half of the race, a lot of fun for some of these pro drivers.
Yes, this will be very interesting now to see how all of this shuffles out, and definitely this battle we're watching right now.
No success penalties from last year. Oh, Pato's outbraked himself into the final turn, and it's, please come through the inside to the two Porsches. He's going to get enough of momentum and enough of a run to perhaps challenge back one of the cars. Sort of a start of a qualifying lap strategy, that one. Yeah. Here comes Lu Wei, though, back down the inside. Is there an overlap? Not quite. There's a bit of contact, perhaps. Little bit of contact just to unsettle, and more contact. And that looks like more damage to me to the Porsche than it is to the Audi. Got away with it, perhaps. And now Lu Wei looks to the inside. Surely can get this done into turn number 4. He's going to have the overlap, but just how much damage was done? I think more to the louvre of the Audi at the back there, isn't it? And finally gets it completed, but it's taken a good 10 minutes to do so. And he will have known that Anthony Liu was getting away at a rate of knots. He really has disappeared. To put in their car, or even a silver to put in their car in pit lane, but our silvers at the front of the field staying out. They don't want to come in to a congested pit lane. And whilst the driver feels good, oh, we've got a spinner, and that is Santosho in the number 8. Act at it every single corner. There's flashing lights, there's noses down the inside. Let's see what happens here. A more conventional overtaking opportunity.
As he goes for it.
Oh, not quite got the overlap though. Sage, you may have seen him a little bit late there. And now has to go around the outside. Is that going to work? This is where Brendan needs to get his nose back in line and try and snatch an opportunity, because Max Hussein well offline there. Doesn't get the move made, and he's going for another unconventional one down the inside here. Wow, Seiji Yara was very, very kind to allow that to work. And here comes Brendan Leach down the inside as well. Steals the position. Dare I say it, picks the pocket. And now the battle continues between Hussein and Leach, sorry. Still Leach having to defend from Ara, trying to go around the outside. Because, of course, by doing the overtake, he's compromised his speed along the straight.
Yep, and the BMW normally has good legs on the straight, so let's see if he can line something up on the outside of T1.
Brute of the BMW. Trying to go around the outside, but Brendan has the inside line. And through the rest of the lap, looking at what was going on last lap, you would expect Brendan now to settle in and disappear. But I think BMW Plus Racing have got some head scratching to do for that car for tomorrow. And one final corner for Alessandro Gueretti. On his debut in the series, his fellow countryman Dorian Boccalacci starred on his debut, but just missed out on a win. And a few years later, it's another Frenchman, another young star, who has taken victory on his first time of asking for Absolute Racing. The 911 takes the win. Second for Akish Nandi in the Lamborghini. And James Yu Kwai comes over the line in third spot, with Miyake fourth for Nissan and third silver. It's going to be second in Pro-Am for Boccalacci, who's held on in front of Piccirillo. And a great way to kick off the season. I think I'm right in saying, well, this 911 car missed out on a win last year and only got itself one podium in the hands of Wang Zhongwei and, for the most part, Patrick Pilet. Just speculating that Absolute Racing's Porsches didn't get a single win last year. I might be being unfair, but I think that is correct. And so that's a big step up when you've got the likes of Phantom, when you've got the likes of Origin, all fighting against each other. There's a big competition to be the Porsche customer service victors. And down in Parc Fermé, it is Absolute Racing, and it is Ron Juan and Alessandro Gueretti.
Good drive. Let's go. Rip.
Plenty of celebrations. Gueretti kind of used to winning in Super Cup last year, in Carrera Cup, and Porsche win in GT World Challenge this season, in the global rankings anyway.
And also a photo with the media at the wall, please.
And good to see that despite the Audi being originally 10 years old now, it's still competitive, and that's the wonderful thing about Balance of Performance, is it can keep cars way beyond their sell-by date still competitive, and we see that with the Nissan as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of the BOP. Enable everyone to compete for the win.
Oh, come on, Akish. He's probably just going to pour that over his own head, isn't it? I'm hoping it's been refrigerated. Although, I think there's a strategy in champagnes. If you put the champagne bottle in the fridge and then put it on the podium, they tend to explode. So there's this. So you don't want to do that from a podium coordinator's perspective. But from a driver's perspective, you want to pour nice cold champagne down your neck.
Definitely.
Yeah, different championships have different ways of putting the champagne on the podium. Take the cork off, leave the cork on.